All right, time for a little stock up, stock down with some U.S. men's national team players, with some U.S. men's national team vets. Case, very simple.
Yep.
Matt Turner. I feel like a guy who desperately needed minutes, and here we are at the Gold Cup, thought he was going to get minutes, doesn't, and now the future a little uncertain. What are you going with, stock up or stock down?
Well, to me, it's stock down, simply because of that reason. You get in a situation where you're not playing for your club team, which is obviously not ideal. Then you have a summer where you think, okay, can I get some reps? Can I show some potential other club teams that I'm still a more than capable goalkeeper? He had the one match against Switzerland, it didn't go well, and that was it. Stock's got to be down.
Janusz, you just made a $8 million move to Lyon. Maybe you'll get some playing time. I'm assuming you're going to go stock down as well, but with this move, do you think that's going to translate to maybe being on the better graces of Mauricio Pochettino?
Yes, I don't have confidence in any of the goalkeepers right now. So by virtue of not playing, of course, the stock should be down. But if the World Cup was today and I had to choose, I'm going to go stock up because I haven't seen enough from Freeze in this tournament. Small margins, that's for sure, but it hasn't been good enough. We don't have Casey, we don't have Tony, we don't have Brad Friedel.
But what do you put more stock in? In the bad moments that he showed against Switzerland, or that he didn't play the
I think what you're saying is, is Freeze didn't do enough for his stock to go up to displace Turner if you had to play him right now.
Well, I thought I explained that fairly well.
But if you're Mauricio Pochettino,
look, I'm looking at the next summer, right? Freeze showed that he can save penalties, but not great with his feet. Plenty of iffy moments, Casey. I hope you agree. Every game, and I just think that Turner is maybe marginally better. That doesn't mean that we're in a good situation.
I've got to be honest. If I'm Matt Turner, I am absolutely livid that I am not starting in this tournament, that I haven't played in this tournament. I desperately needed minutes. I am the goalkeeper who started last World Cup, posted a couple of shutouts, which has never been done in U.S. men's national team history, and here I am backing up a guy that if we went through the depth chart before this tournament started, might have been the fifth, sixth best goalkeeper in that depth chart. And now I'm sitting here and my stock is down less than a year out from a World Cup. If I'm Matt Turner, this move to Lyon with John Textor's team has to absolutely hit it out of the park. All right, next one we got here. Oh, I like this one. Max Arensson. Max Arensson is a bit of an enigma for me.
Right.
Because going forward, he's showing you some good technical ability. All of a sudden, a little bit of dazzle, some moments where you're saying, wow, this is interesting. But defensively, a lot to be desired. Case, where
that's the way I would look at it. I would look at it like a stock up is like a squad guy that could maybe come in kind of in a wingback role or even further advanced. But if you're looking at him the way we saw him in this tournament as a left back, then I'm going to say stock down. Because I just don't think when you need that defending, when you need that, let's close this game out, showed some liability.
Came out of nowhere. I'm going to give him some slack. My position, you had yours in the first one, so I trust you on that one. Yes, defensively, some question marks, but came out of nowhere. A goal, 3 assists, I think, in this tournament.
What do you like about him?
Jedi, the ability to go forward, the ability to get involved, because we're going to need that. If we're going to go to that next level, next step, if we're going to prove that we can compete with better countries, we need players to get forward, take a little bit of risks. He does that. I agree defensively. He needs to clean it up a little bit, but I'm definitely going to give him stock up here.
This is a tricky one because we're talking about a guy who had no stock to begin with.
Right.
We're talking about a
Right.
Came out of nowhere, and I don't know if I put so much on Max Arensson or if I put more on he's successful in a system, a Wilfred Nancy system that lets you attack at will. But if you're going to play on the U.S. men's national team, and if you're going to be a player who potentially comes in because Anthony Robinson can't play, because Anthony Robinson will be the starter, you've got to show that you can defend. Because the U.S. men's national team at the World Cup, they're not going to be attacking.
They're not playing, and they're not playing the Guatemalas, and they're not playing the
exactly.
Trinidad.
So I'm going to say, while I agree with you, Janusz, it is a stock up because we didn't know who he was. I'm still going stock down.
I'm going to put him kind of.
You're going to go in the middle?
I'm going to kind of go in the middle a little bit.
Harsh.
Kind of right, kind of it. Maybe a little bit.
Just showed up.
I'm going to put him more on this, but with a touch in the stock up.
I would still take a Joe Scally on the left-hand side if need be.
Agreed.
I take Dest at his best, right?
On the left as well?
Oh, he's played there plenty of times.
All right, here we go. Oh, this is good. Johnny Cardoso, massive transfer fee to Atletico Madrid. He's done well at Real Betis. Tottenham Hotspur actually were interested in him. In the end, it's Atletico Madrid. He will go play for Cholo Simeone's team. Stock up or stock down? Giannis, you go first here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm very, very disappointed because that's the position, the part of the pitch where we need so much help. The games that we've seen from U.S. lately, it's critical for any team. So my hopes were so high because the season at Betis was exceptional. Even in that game in Poland, the final against Chelsea, lost by Betis, I thought he was very, very good in that position. I thought that he was going to come here. Every time he plays for the U.S. national team, I come out of the game disappointed, so I definitely have to say stock down. But I do hope that that's going to turn into some form next summer because I'm sure he's going to be on the team.
I'm looking at stock up for club team, stock down for national team. And that's so I don't know, are we?
No, it's got to be the national
We are
team.
national team, then definitely I got to go stock down because same with Janusz. I was expecting so much in a depleted squad, and there was those players that we felt with this young team, they needed to step up. And he was one of them that I thought, you need to step up and show in this squad that you are the player that Atletico Madrid just paid a bunch of money for. And he didn't show that. And that's why for the men's national team, stock down.
Case, you call a bunch of La Liga games, a lot of Atletico games.
I call a lot of Atletico games.
He could actually do pretty well there, which is why I'm so surprised, a player of his ability, that it hasn't translated to the U.S. men's national team. He's on that Malik Tillman kind of border where Malik wasn't doing well at the national team level, but he killed it at Rangers. He killed it for 2 seasons at PSV, and now he's going to Bayern Leverkusen. This player absolutely killed it at Internacional, kills it at Betis, and now he's going to Atletico. Why can't we see that Johnny Cardoso with the U.S. men's national team? He's going to be in the World Cup. He's going to be with the U.S. But when are we going to see that Johnny Cardoso that takes it to the next level? So stock down as well. All right, we got Sebastian Burhalter. And let me just say, I'm glad that Sebastian Burhalter broke out with Mauricio Pochettino and wasn't breaking out with his father. I think it gives him a clean slate.
It's easier.
It's easier.
It's cleaner.
Go ahead, Case.
I mean, I don't think anybody before the tournament really even had Sebastian on their radar. And the fact that he played as much as he did, contributed as much as he did, is he ready for next summer yet for that squad when everybody's involved? I'm not sure. But the fact that he came from nowhere to be, I mean, it has to be stock up. I just don't see any other thing because he was one of the guys that came in. Nobody thought he'd be there, played a bunch of minutes, contributed on set pieces, did not look overawed in midfield. So stock up for sure.
Has to be, really, and you can tell that Pochettino trusts him. That's the most important thing because he's played just about every game. In one game, he got rest, and we were pretty sure that this player that just came into that camp was going to play in the subsequent games. He did. He's intelligent. Obviously, set pieces are very important. We've seen, Chris Richards appreciates his delivery. That is for sure. So a player, once again, in the center of the pitch where any manager will look for that intelligence, ability to stay on the ball, calm. So obviously, I'm going stock up on him. Yeah,
I'm going to go stock up as well, simply because, Casey mentioned it. People were talking about him with the Vancouver Whitecaps. People were talking about how he broke out there. They had an incredible run in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. He was an important player, didn't get to play the final because he was on yellow card accumulations, but he was a massive player on that team. He comes here, and I see a different facet, a different side of his game, set-piece delivery, much like Kellen Acosta last cycle, who became valuable for that. Maybe he can get in this cycle that way. Nobody is saying Sebastian Burhalter is going to be a starter or compete for the starting spot, but 26 players go to the World Cup. He could be in or around that area. This is definite stock up.
He was smart enough to play safe. Now the next step is, can he dominate midfield in games, some games?
Giannis, last one here. Brendan Arensson, I feel like he's been on the side of a milk carton lately for the U.S. men's national team. He was a big player last cycle. He was an important player for the U.S. men's national team. His energy, he created things in the final third. You didn't really see him this Gold Cup. Stock up or stock down?
Yeah, stock down. I don't know what to make of him because, yes, he's got that energy. It seems like he's doing a lot, but really when you watch the game, sometimes makes you wonder. And then we've seen a good delivery for a goal in this tournament from him. But, when I watch him at club level again, I mean, it seems the sort of player that frequently assists, scores, and is a very important part of the team. In the championship,
wasn't so at the top flight in either in Germany or in England.
It's still a very difficult level, and I could argue that half of German Bundesliga and some of the teams in the championship may be at
Yeah, I could see the top championship and the bottom Bundesliga
right.
be able to
that may be
float
there.
back and
So
forth.
my
Yeah.
expectations are much higher. He's been part of this setup for a long, long time, and there just isn't enough end product for me on the national team level.
I would say in a young side, I know there was some of what Pochettino was doing in this tournament was looking for people that he didn't already know. Brendan wasn't brought in the Nations League. He brought in other players, brought him into this tournament, and couldn't force himself into the starting lineup. So stock up to the point that you're actually in camp, which is a step
Right.
up from not being in camp. But when you've got a bunch of kids, MLS guys, and you couldn't get yourself more playing time, I got to go with a little bit of stock down.
Yeah, it's stock down just because of where his stock was last World Cup, heading into last World Cup.
Right.
And where he is today, nowhere to be found. If memory serves me correctly, I think he made this Gold Cup because of an injury. Somebody pulled out, he ends up coming in because of an injury. If you're Brendan Arensson, you got to be thinking to yourself,
And that's what I'm saying. You have
how can I get back
You have
on
6
track here?
matches to show that you should be playing more time in training every day, in coming off as a bench, and he wasn't able to do that for whatever reason.
Well, Brendan Arensson, and not only the guys we did stock up, stock down, a bunch of other players are going to have a few more games to impress Mauricio Pochettino. There's the upcoming schedule for 2025. September 6th against South Korea, and September 9th against a very good Japanese team. That's going to be something to watch out for.